Bang! Neeves Knives. I'm Jared, and we are live, ladies and gentlemen, live on Neeves Knives for a happy New Year's because this is the last live before New Year's, which is in 2 days. Well, yeah, 2 days. So happy New Year's to everybody. We do have a couple new knives to check out that I haven't done a first impressions on, so this will be the first time they're shown on this channel. We'll check them out here in 1 second. Opened up with the Best Texidus. What a banger. I freaking dig this thing. I know it's expensive, you know, Best Tex prices are a bit up there. But it's damn good. It's damn good. So, you know, it's kind of weird because, you know, you look at something and you're like, yeah, that's a bit overpriced, you know, compared to other companies, blah, 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 blah. And then, you know, like you look at the heat treat's a little bit on the softer side and shit like that. Not that it won't hold a decent edge, but you know, it's not going to be optimal, right? But the knife itself is just such a well-built machine, you know, it's like it's just solid all the way around, you know, that everything's just well done on it. And you know, it makes you feel good, right? So I think we all have that where we choose to like the knives that make us feel a certain type of way, right? Like they make us feel good, whether it's your style, whether it's the materials you like, the type of action you enjoy, you know, whatever, right? But it makes you, you know, it makes you happy. And like this is something that even though like it wouldn't on paper be my style, you know, it's just so well done. And then when you actually use it, that's when it really shines because this tip drops so far down. Like you don't expect a Tonto to have a tip that lines up almost with the center of the pivot, not quite, because the pivot on this is actually low. If the pivot was centered, which then it would be centered with the tip. So very good that you doing utility cuts. Then it's got this deep, nasty hollow grind. The ergonomics are just crazy good. It's a good one. Snow says, sup, Neeves? The red tobacco came in and Haramain Amber Oud. Damn, mixed reviews so far. Wife hates the Ruby Amber Oud, but my girlfriend loves it. Thanks for the recommendations. I got you. So your wife doesn't like the Amber Oud. Now the red tobacco is the one I'm curious about. I'm surprised she doesn't like the Amber Oud. That's normally a very pleasing. I'm wondering the type of fragrances she likes then. But I'm curious what you think about the red tobacco because that one's definitely not for everybody. That one's definitely one, like if somebody said they didn't like it, I'd be like, I understand. But if you told me it was your favorite fragrance on the planet, I would also say I understand because I freaking love it. I've been wearing it actually past couple. Right now I'm wearing something different. We're going to talk about it during fragrance time, but I've gotten addicted to that red tobacco. Two Bones Jones sent me a fragrance. It was a Black Phantom clone, and I tried it on. It's kind of like a spicy coffee fragrance, and I'm not really into coffee fragrances. Or sorry, spicy chocolate fragrance. And I'm not really into chocolate fragrances or coffee fragrances too much. If they're done well, I guess it's okay, but usually they're not for me. But the dry down kept reminding me of the red tobacco, and it made me go put it on. Damn good. But yeah, I'm curious what you think about that red tobacco. That's a great mixture with the red tobacco in order to kind of sweeten it up just a little bit more so it's not too much tobacco, putting on that the Amber Oud, because that Amber Oud is mega sweet. What knives do you hate in your collection? Oh man, there's a lot. There's a lot of them I fucking hate. I got a whole bag of knives I hate, but I think those knives would be considered of courses. There's a what's that called? A Sativian out there that I freaking hate because of the lock bar axis. I mean, I despise it. And I got that in the collection. There's quite a few knives that I really despise. Usually it's because of those reasons though. Like say if it's like a knife that has the potential to be like, you know, it has the good materials, price, all that stuff, like it's not like a piece of crap. Well, then it's going to boil down to lock bar access, sharp control, plunge, grind, detent action, things like that. And I find that lock bar access really makes me hate a knife. And I have a ton of knives that I absolutely fucking love, but I hate because of the clip. The clip, because I can't stand wanting to carry a knife and a knife being so good, and then the one part that makes me carry it is fucked. What's up, Byron? How you doing, brother? What's up, knife people? Cooking stuffed and glazed chops with my 8-year-old taking the recipe. Hell yeah. Sounds like a good time. Sounds like a delicious time. Today's fragrance is Nitro V and Linen Micarta Dust. There you go. There you go. I guess you're getting all the ladies. Almost 100 here already in 4 minutes. Yeah, we're going to get to the new knives here in 1 second. Just remember, one you may hate may be loved by another. It depends on the person and the knife. I thought you were talking about a fragrance, but yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's it's all about your style and what talks to you, what speaks to you. I think there's a generality between like certain knives where it's like they are for a mass amount of people, like there's just certain knives shapes, that speak to the majority, right? And if they tick all these other boxes, right, aside from the design, then it's going to be more likely it's for everybody. And then there's the other ones that are like that lean one way or another. Just Nate has been a member for 15 months. Shout out to Nate, man. I appreciate all the support. And Rick, been a member for 8 months. 2023 will only last for 21 and a half hours from now. And I'm fucking ready to leave this crap year behind. Happy New Year. I'm ready too. I wouldn't necessarily say crap year, but I mean, I guess that just depends on how your year went. But I will say this. I'm ready for 2024 because I am going to kick 2024's ass. Got a lot of plans for 2024, and I plan to fucking dominate all year. In some of the areas that I was lacking towards the end of the year, I'm hoping to get my shit together in the beginning of the, not hoping, I'm gonna get my shit together at the beginning of the year and get myself back on track. I do feel like I've kind of done a little bit too much and veered off a little bit. And I need to really stay focused and hyper focus in specific areas, and just organize my day better. And I'm definitely going to do that. I'm definitely going to start that other channel. Definitely going to work on the site a lot more. I'm going to do a lot. I got some knife designs coming. Any updates on the Spyderco Manx 2 XL and Crew? No updates on my end. I'm not even positive if I'm going to fucking get it when they drop. Did they drop? I don't even know if they dropped. I haven't checked. What's my most expensive knife? I have two. Depends on how you look at it, but I have a no, I guess not. I got a Rockstead that's about 1800, 1900, I think. It's almost 2000. And then I have a Herman full dress that's almost 3000. So those would be my most expensive. But I have some knives that, that people might pay a bit more for. Like it just depends, Not that they would top that, but they'd say the Shgorov F111 frag. That was a monkey edge exclusive or whatever, with the frag pattern. It was the only one like that. And I don't know how many they made, but they were like 1100 new. Now I could probably get 1500 for it, if not more. I'm not 100% though. I don't want to sell it, but I'm just saying. I have the actually it just got returned to me today. Check this out. This is the Shgorov F111. Now, this one is, I like because it has that reverse flick. This one's big. This is a pocket sword. It's even bigger than my regular Shgorovs. But this one, I have to admit, because of the carbon, it's weird because my other one in carbon fiber doesn't feel as light as this one, and the lightness, I don't want to say it cheapens it, because that's not true. You know, sometimes a lighter knife is even better than a heavier knife, but because it's light, it takes something away from the Shgorov feeling that I get with my other two, if that makes sense. And I think it's because this one doesn't have any liners aside from the lock bar. Like, it's literally just carbon fiber and then a titanium backspacer. So it is like, when you grab it for the size, it is way light. But that also, you know, makes it have a little bit of a different feeling. Not a bad feeling, it's a great feeling, but it's very different from my other Shuros. James with the 2 bones. Thank you, brother. What time does Neeves New Year Eve countdown to 2024 start? The countdown? The countdown starts, what do you mean, 11:59? I don't know what you mean. We go to the party at like 4, something like that, and then we all hang out all night until, you know, New Year's, and then scream Happy New Year and punch each other, give each other hugs and kisses. I think the crew card of Manx XL will drop 2024. It's not what they said, it's just what I think, because they'd start off their year with a bang. Yeah, you know what's weird is that they, like, even the micro Jimbo, the little Jimbo that I checked out at Blade Show, still hasn't dropped. It's crazy how early, like, why even tell us about it? I don't understand that. I'm wondering if, I don't know. I don't know if they're like trying to just like guess how many they should make or something. I don't know. All right, let's check out these couple knives. So, first knife I actually got this for Kara. We got the little cub, the little Demco cub. The blade is definitely thinner. I haven't compared it to my big one yet, or bigger ones. I thought it was sitting right here, but it's not. So, oh wait, yeah, it is. So let's see. Man, I could not get this thing open. Look at this. I had to cut it. I mean, I couldn't get it open for the life of me. All right, let's check this geometry out. Oh yeah, quite a bit different, but this is such a smaller knife, though. It's hard to do this on camera. Yeah, it's a lot smaller, but the hole, very easy to access, and I was not expecting myself to be able to get a full 4-finger grip. It's tight. It's more like a 3-finger, you know, if I stretch out, but if I really cram in there, I can get a solid 4. And you can choke up right there. So it's actually a decent size. Like, I was expecting it to be smaller. So I mean, it's not big, but this is not big either, though. You know, this I wouldn't consider a big knife. I just consider this I guess a full size, but I don't know. Not a big fan of these scales. I don't know how Kara's gonna feel. I haven't even given it to her yet. But I think these are Ultim. I don't know. They're like fucking plastic. I'm kind of disappointed in them. I don't know if I just looked at the picture wrong or what I did, but I don't know. I don't know how I feel about them. They're all right. There's nothing wrong with them, and I do like seeing the mechanism on the inside, but you really can't see the mechanism because there's plates on the side. So with this one, same thing. So it'd be cool if you could see, but then it wouldn't be as strong. So let's check out the next one. So the next one, now this thing's been around for a while. Check this out, though. It could have went into the best knives of 2023 under $50, but it couldn't have because it has existed before. But I think this is a new version, and if I'm wrong and this version's been out for a while, let me know. But we have the Rake P801 with G10. It still has the frame lock side. These things are like $39-$40 or something. Great action. This one has a much better detent than my original 801. So I think it's actually the thumb studs that are different, because my original 801, my thumb studs were like slick and they worked, but the detent was a little too strong for them. This is great. This is a solid knife, and you know, it's a great knife. I could see some things that I could potentially make better, like if I was going to redo it. But that's every fucking knife, right? But this one, something about it, man. It's got that nice, like, kind of Sabenza-ish look, you know, especially the all steel one. I'm sure you guys have already know about the 801. Is the keto triad worth 215 in your point? This guy right here, the guy I got, this little baby cub, is this one you're talking about? Is that what I paid for? 215? Probably not. I mean, I don't know, man. It's tough because it's 20 CV, Taiwan. So those are two good things. I don't know what they're heat treating it to. I'd prefer it to be M390, but it's using fucking plastic scales. That's the part that bites me. Like everything else, I could say, like, yeah, it's worth it. You know, the shark lock, super strong lock. Just double checking. Super strong lock. You know, it's fidgety. It does have a nice reverse flick, but the damn scales. I'm not into the plastic scales. Even on this guy, I bought this one too because of it was all black with the black hardware, and I kind of like the way it looks with Ultim with the blacked outness. But this one, it just feels like plastic. Like I thought it was going to be more like Ultim, but it's not. Maybe it is, and it's just, you know, without milling. I don't know. Deadwood had some Manx salts too. Bang gang. What's up, Barry? But yeah, man, the 801 14C 28N, nice steel frame lock with good action, nice ceramic cage bearing action. And for the price, when this first came out, this was like the best budget knife ever at the time. Like, look at the perfect lock bar access. Like, it had all these little details that you didn't see on a lot of knives at this price, you know. So yeah, this is a good one. And the all metal one actually feels even more premium probably than this one. It's been a while since I've had a few of them, and every single time I give it away. It's that good, and that means it's good, because that means I wanted to give it to somebody, because I have so many knives. So it's like when I'm gonna give a friend or somebody a knife, I think, you know, what's a good knife to give them, you know. Let's see. Do you think the Pena knives will ever be make/drop more of his X series again? I don't know. I'm thinking he's probably going to do something else, but it's possible. You know, it's just a lot of times when you see these guys, when you don't see a new batch come fairly quickly, they're usually working on something else, and that usually takes a little bit longer, because, you know, when a company already has all the shit in place, you know, it's easier for them to remake stuff. But when they're doing a new thing, you know, they have to set all their machines up and everything. So, but I have no idea. Do you come across many decent knives made in China, or all good ones? No, man. Actually, to be honest, China makes probably the best knives on the planet right now as far as affordability. Like if you have $300, $400 and you want to get the quality of $1,000 knife, you go to China. So it's just the way it is. Like, granted, USA has the best knives on the planet, in my opinion. Next would probably be Japan or Russia, and then Taiwan. I would say probably maybe even vice versa. I would say those guys all get lumped together right after USA. Now, the thing is that while I say that, you're talking about $800, $1,000. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of great $400 to $500, even like $300 to $500 USA made knives. but they're never going to be a Reat quality, right? The Reat, you're going to get contoured, sculpted titanium, you know, with an incredible fit and finish with a perfect detent, and like over 20 models you test, they all feel identical. Like that's tough. That's tough to do. Many companies can't do that. They can't make things that consistent, especially for that price. So, you know, it just is what it is. It's just, you know, they have the materials, they have that's why we need to make sure we keep building in the USA, and because we need the machinists and everything being done here that will help bring the prices down here. The reason why they're so expensive is because we don't have as many. They have an entire city that is specifically towards making knives. That's all that city does. It's literally an entire city. The kids there grow up knowing they're going to work in this city, in this industry. So they literally start learning it, you know, at a very young age. Joe the Knife Guy, thank you, man. I appreciate the support. I thought you were already a supporter. Shout out to you. I appreciate it. But oh wait, did you ask about Canada? Or all the good ones either? I don't know about any good ones in Canada except for Grimsmo. Oh no, there's a couple other ones. What's that one? Dang it. I can't think of what it's called, but it's super lightweight. That one's made in Canada too. But I'd say USA is the best. Do you have any plans for members chat server or something where we can chat about any kind of knife? So I can do that if you guys want. I can start a Discord. I can start a Discord for all the members. I can definitely do that. If you guys want, I will make one. I can't promise I'll be in there. I mean, I'll go in there probably once a day. I'll probably set up a time where once a day I'm in there. So, you know, you'll know I'll be in there right around that time, which will probably be morning time, something like that. But yeah, I don't mind doing that. I just didn't really think, I didn't know if anybody really wanted to do that. What's the best low cost knife made in China? The best low cost, Suncut. Suncut. The Suncut Arc Blast or the Suncut Serene. Yep. Or any of the Suncuts. Just pick one. Suncut does a damn good job. What's up, Sergio? Oh, snap. I just ordered the Micro Jimbo from the Spyderco site. They have them in stock, and I get 50% off there. Are they in stock? Are you sure they're in stock? I was just talking. I didn't think they even dropped yet. Yeah, Polish. Yeah, I should have said that. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Poland makes some good knives too. But you know, in the same breath, Poland makes great knives. South Africa makes amazing knives. South Africa is probably the best bang for your buck for handmade custom knives next, and then Poland. And then, you know, obviously the next would probably be like USA and stuff. Because Japan is like really expensive. The USA is very expensive too, but you can get like a mid-tech in the USA for like $500, $600, $700. To get a full custom that's really well done, yeah, it's gonna be 1,000 plus. You can get production knives anywhere from $300 to $1,000 from the USA. The high end ones, the best of the best, are going to be between $600 and $1,000 though. If you want like that high level of what the USA can do, it's going to be close to $1,000. But those knives are very highly regarded. They hold their value. It's not like you buy them and they just fucking bleh. Like a lot of people buy them and resell them for more than they paid. You know, like the Holtz, the Ariuses, the Rosies, you know, the Recentis. Had to update the payment method. No problem. No problem. Kaleidoscope of Knives. Been a member for a month, man. I appreciate the support. A month well spent, in my opinion. I appreciate that. And listen, I know it's near the holidays and we have not had as many lives as we're supposed to. So I apologize for that. Keep supporting, because everything, after the New Year's, everything's going to start getting caught back up. I need a few days after the New Year's, and we'll have our members' lives all back in track, back in order. Everything will be going smoothly. I have to get through the holidays. I got family shit, just like everybody else. So we're going to be back on track. We'll be doing the giveaways on the members now, because now I'm shutting down Patreon. I'm doing the last giveaway right now for the Patreons. So that'd be yes, that's what it was. North Arm Skaha. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. But yeah, I'm gonna do that giveaway, and then all the giveaways are gonna go to the members from now on. And yeah, I think I'm gonna be doing a lot of stuff on the members, because once everything's there and I don't have to worry about Patreon no more, and I can just solely worry about that, it's a lot easier for me to deal with and work with and everything. So we're gonna have a good time in that. And then also I'm gonna get some other things in track and like organized for the channel specifically, to make it run a little bit smoother. Richard's been a member for 5 months, man. Appreciate the support, man. Thank you guys so much. What's up, Dan? Brian, Ty, and Peter Ascenti are also them Canadians. Yes, they are. I didn't know that Peter Ascenti was a Canadian. I did not know. Did they live in Canada still, or they're just Canadian? Double D10. Been a member for 6 months. Happy New Year, all. I'm down for a member Discord. Awesome. All right. Well, we'll have to set that up. Might have to have one of you guys help me set it up. I think Kara knows how to do it. Anybody here snag the Manx 2 on the sale? I missed out on that one. I did not, but I got plenty of them. Thanks for crushing the content over the holidays. Thank you, Low Country Hillbilly. We got a banger coming out tomorrow. We got a good one coming out tomorrow, and then the final video for the best knives of 2023 will go out after the New Year's. And the reason why was because I was trying to wait for the last, because like knives drop like daily at the end of the year for some fucking reason. Now the thing is though, is that like I have a handful right now that I'm not gonna show until the 2nd, because that's when they drop. So they can't, even though I got them and technically they released in 2023, they don't release to you guys until 2024. So they're not 2023 models, so they can't go into there. However, if they would have dropped a week before, they absolutely would have went into these videos. They're good ones. Bangkok with the 100 somethings. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. We got 100 crackers, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for the great content, and Happy New Year's to all. Happy New Year's to you, man. Thank you for the donation. Charleston, avoid it. F2000 is worse than the F1500. The resin bonding isn't great and leaves more scratches. You mean the F1200? Is worse than the resin bonding. Yeah, they discontinued it for a reason. The 2000. When I talked to them personally about it, they told me that they discontinued it because I requested it, and they said we can't send it to you. And I was like, why? Because they asked me like, hey, what stones do you want? And I was like, I want these. And they're like, we can't give you that one. I was like, why not? They're like, because it's all messed up. They said something about the bonding coming, just the makeup of it wasn't working. Now, they had a similar issue years ago with their low grits, with their super low grits. And what it was they had their bonding agent and the diamonds were both an abrasive. And that's how they were making them extra abrasive. They basically had diamonds and the resin was an abrasive. But if for some reason it wasn't working out well, I don't know why. So now I think it's just diamonds now in a resin for the coarse ones. They might have a little bit of abrasive in the resin. I'm not sure, but not like they did at the very least. Hogue Deca 2 Magna Cup Able Lock replacement parts and studs. Oh shit, it just jumped. Does any Able Lock replacement parts and studs, does any make these goat scales coming? Oh yeah. Crispy Critters been a member for 5 months. What's up, Stasa? Shout out to Stasa23. Shout out to you. Uh, Definitely go and subscribe to Stasa's channel because he's a beast and awesome content. He's been putting out some bangers too. You know what sucks for us though, Stasa? It's all downhill from here now, man. For January, because those of you that don't, obviously know because you don't work on YouTube. YouTube's your affiliate or not affiliate, sorry, your AdSense, right? So the money you make from YouTube goes up before the holidays. It goes up for about 2 months, it slowly goes up because they're giving you better ads because of the Christmas and the holidays and all this bullshit going on. They're fucking pumping these ads in, and ad creators put a lot of money into it. So therefore we get, a little bit more because the ads are better. After Christmas, after New Year's, it's all downhill. For at least like a month or so. I think it's just all of like January is just pretty much shot. Like, they're not pumping money into the ads as much as they did previously because they pumped so much previously. But it catches back up. It's just a roller coaster. 2024 is the year of the dragon. Is that actually true, or are you just saying some shit, Easy? You're just saying stuff. Chris Reynolds with the 279. Thanks for being a great resource for the community, man. Thank you guys for being such an awesome community for me to have fun with, man. Boker Thunderstorms Auto Os 8 Steel. Best angle for sharp. I don't know that knife. I can take a look at it really quick. Is this right? Yeah. Ooh, that's tough, man. It's tough. So the problem is if you look right here, see the choil? Trying to zoom in, but I can't. So the choil's fucked. And look at how close it is to the handle. So I can't tell you to put a 15-degree edge bevel on it. And I'm scared to tell you 17 degrees because I'm guessing it's probably 25 thousandths behind the edge looking at the edge bevel. Because knowing Boker and knowing most factory, knives, their angles are usually above 22.5 degrees, or in many cases above 25. So I would say they probably put a 25-degree edge angle on this at the lowest, possibly 30, but most likely about 25 at the lowest. So the edge bevel being this thick with that high of an angle means it's thick behind the edge. So I'm guessing it's 25 thousandths behind the edge, give or take. And so a 17-degree edge bevel will make the bevel quite a bit bigger. So you're going to eat up any of this. You will create a smile back there, or at least, it'll look all cruddy back there. You possibly might hit the handle. So I'd go 20 degrees per side to be safe. Yeah, I'd go 20 degrees per side to be safe. That's what I would do. But that's a tough one, man. When the choil's like that close to the handle, it's tough. Yeah, it's always my birthday present in January. That's why I can't ever buy myself anything for my birthday. Exactly. Oh, yeah. My birthday, too. Both of us. Birthday boys in January. Capricorns. They're the best. Dave, thank you for the 10 bones, man. Dave's always coming in, throwing some donies. I appreciate it, man. Looking forward to 2024. I made it another year. Right, exactly. Made it another year, so we must be here for a reason. So let's get it. I'm semi pumped. I try to pump myself up a little bit, just because I like to think that I hate the thought of like not busting my ass for something I want and something I love. So I like the thought of actually having plans and having ideas and fucking executing it. Like the worst thing in my head is having like say a New Year's resolution and not doing it. Like even like if it's a small plan or like, and I fucked over my last year's one. So you know, I'm not saying I'm great. I fucked mine up. So, but I hate that. You know, I hate the thought of that. So I like the thought of conquering, setting goals, and knocking them out. So that's definitely my plan this year, and it's definitely going to happen. And I'm not the one to say that and not do it. You know, last year's was just, you know, I was planning on starting the other channel, and I worked so hard on this channel that it just, I never found the time. I never scheduled properly. But I also, you know, I got to conquer a lot of things because of that. So, you know, granted, if I would have, I'd be a year in right now, but you know, better late than never, right? Um, this will be my first New Year's without alcohol. Good for you, man. So we'll see how it goes. At least I will be able to remember it. There you go. There you go. Yeah, I kind of thought about not drinking on New Year's Eve. I'll probably still drink. But you know, I don't drink often, so but but what I will say though is that right after, you know, I'll probably have like a day of recovery, you know, and then after that, I'm fucking on the grind. On the grind. I won't even probably celebrate my birthday. I'll be grinding. It's hard to unlock a lot of knives with a cut thumb. Yeah, that can be tough. Might do 75 hard, but it is quite a commitment. The Wick Life. I like the name. Stasa, when is your folder dropping? I was born on the cusp. I'm Capricorn and Aquarius. Hell yeah. That's basically like Kara. This will be my 4th California sober New Year's. It gets easier, bro. Good for you, man. Good for you. Yeah, you know, the thing is though, is if you got to find enjoyment in life, and I know, like, you know, when you drink and you're getting fucked up, you know, it feels great because, you know, you're having a good time, right? But you know, there's so many times where you regret it the next day, right? And that's the bad part, right? You hate to think that you're doing something and enjoying something that you regret the next day. So if you can put that energy into being like good, you know, and not doing that to yourself, not letting yourself feel like shit, you know, and whatever, then it actually is more enjoyable, but you have to put forth the effort into enjoying it like that, you know. And it's hard for people to see if they don't do it, you know. Uh, because you know, a lot of times people, you know, they spend a long time not really enjoying themselves without some sort of substance. And you know, I've been there. Shit, been there too long. We have a second round of prototypes being made now. Bang gang. Thank you, Todd. I appreciate it, brother. Sarah sneaks dope in meat food, then asks stuff. You know what I did one time? I know we're not the story time, so I was in the hospital. So I had surgery right here. It looks like I tried to delete myself. I did not. I had a what the fuck is it called? I can't think of the name of it, but it's a skin infection. So, and what happened was it my skin was red, right? At first it was red and swelling, and I thought it would just go away because I had had that many times, you know, and it always just went away. This didn't go away, and it kept swelling and swelling and swelling. Well, then overnight, before I knew it, this fucker was like a baseball. Like, it was big. And I was like, oh shit. And I didn't want to go to the hospital, right? And I would have already went if I wasn't on drugs and all kinds of shit. So the fear of me going into the hospital and having to be away from like drugs and stuff was the biggest fear. It was worse than the thought of dying. So I was willing to go that route rather than, instead, right? So because I didn't want to, because the thought of not being able to get to this and going through withdrawals and stuff like that was like the most killing thing. So I wound up like trying to wait it. Like I was hoping it was just going to fix itself because most things do, right? Most things do kind of fix themselves for the most part, not always though. Anyways, so within like 3 days, this thing turned into like a saw. It was so big, it was insane. And I was like, all right, I have to go to the hospital. I have to go. I have no choice. Right. So I went to the hospital. They seen my shit. They were like, you need to be rushed to emergency surgery right now. Like they were like, you're probably gonna you're like you could die. You're about to lose your arm. And that was like a huge awakening for a second. Let me wait till I finish the story because it wasn't too much of an awakening, but um my uncle walked in. My uncle walked in, and I didn't even know he knew I was in the hospital. Like, that's my uncle, man. My uncle's the shit. Um, he shows up and he's like, "What the fuck's wrong with you? Like, what are you thinking?" And I told him, I was like, "This thing like went 0 to 100 real quick. Like, it wasn't like this was like a month thing. Like, this was within a couple days. It went like that." And and he's like, "You're fucking lucky." So what happened was when I went in, they rushed me to emergency surgery, and then they cut it out of me. I had a big hole there. So I had to actually pack it for weeks. Luckily, I was already good at packing wounds because of my dad. So I had already dealt with this so many fucking times. So I was good, treating it and dealing with it like that. But the problem was now they wouldn't let me out of the hospital. I had to stay in the hospital because they were worried so first they were worried the infection got to my bloodstream, which in that case, like, it would have been really, really bad. I got lucky that it didn't, but they wanted to make sure that the infection didn't come back because like they went deep in my arm, like to tear everything out. Like it was pretty bad. Um, I'm good now, but I was there for like 7 days. So for 7 days, what do I have to do? Right? Like I can't be off a dope for 7 days. So I had so this is fucked up, right? So what I did was they put a what the hell is it called? An IV into my neck, right? So they put an IV into my neck and I was having shit sent to me and brought into me and I had I like when the nurse wasn't looking, I swiped one of the plungers from, so that, the ones that hook up to the IV, you rotate it on and you squirt the shit in because I knew like this thing's hooked up to my blood, right? So I was literally getting dope brought in and injecting it into my fucking neck with the fucking syringes. But that just shows you how fucked up I was. But it made it to where I was able to get through the hospital experience because I'll tell you what, man, I probably would have left. I probably would have left. I probably would have fought my way out of there. I probably would have went to jail, like probably all kinds of knucklehead shit, like to get out of there. But luckily I was able to do that. So it kept me calm, kept me cool. I got caught smoking cigarettes like 5 times. They were threatening to kick me out. I was like, I don't give a fuck, kick me out, whatever. Um, the guy, I had a partner, or not a partner, but this guy who I was bunks with, right? And I told him, I was like, listen, I'm smoking a cigarette. And he's like, you do whatever you got to do, man. It was this old black dude. He was cool as fuck. And I was like, they're probably going to come in here and snap off. He's like, I didn't see nothing. So they did. They did. I lit one up, and well, he was actually breaking down to me like this between this time and this time they won't come in here, right? And he's like, every once in a while they do. He's like, but you're probably like that's the safest time. Well, go figure, right? They have to come in at that time. So I had just got done smoking. They come in and they wind up like sending like other nurses and security and stuff like that. And he's like, he wasn't smoking. So he stuck up for me. So shout out to that guy, man. That guy was a G because I wasn't cracking. So I was very happy that he wasn't either. He was really cool. The worst is waking up with a cath. Yeah, I haven't experienced that, but yeah, I know a lot of people who have. My brother did a couple times. I used to have to put catheters into my dad daily. So for 13 years. I've done fucking more cathetering into people than most. Greetings, Jared. Hope you had a great Christmas. Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate it. And New Year's is coming soon. Jared, I'm stuck between the Parah 3 and the Manx 2. This will be my first Spider Code. Don't know if I want a compression lock or the ball lock. What are your thoughts? I personally would go with the ball lock. So yes, it's bigger. So it's going to be a bigger knife than the Parah 3. But the one thing that's really cool about the ball lock is that it is, and not that this matters probably for you, but you can actually use it left-handed. A Parah 3 you can't use left-handed unless if you get a CME from OCD for EDC. This is a nice strong lock. It has a great detent. I'd recommend that. You can always get the Parah 3 later, but that's the route I would go personally, and I've had them both. I love the Parah 3. I'm not saying anything bad about the Parah 3, but I like the Manx more. Now, you might be different, though. You might like the smaller, compact size of the Parah 3 a little bit more. A lot of people do. I was in the hospital for 2 months because of COVID. Damn, all my organs got messed up. I had a C-line in my neck and had dialysis from there. I was on a ventilator and was in a medical-induced coma. Damn, Yeezy. Yeah, I heard, and listen, I'm not no fucking professional here, but I heard that the ventilations or the whatever, yeah, the ventilators or whatever were actually making people worse. So I wonder if that's what happened to you. When I woke up, I wasn't allowed to eat or drink for 5 days. I've been there. Where I couldn't eat or drink. Waking up while intubated was worse than waking up with a cath. Intubated? What is that? Intubated? I don't know what that is. Huh. Explain that one so I don't have to look it up. You're gonna bother me. Jared, CJRB Frack or Pyite XL? Whoa! That's a tough one, man. The Frack is definitely bigger as far as like weight, thickness, size, in all dimensions. So the Pyite is more narrow, so it's going to be easier to wield, easier to use. I'm going to go Pyite on that one. But man, the Frack is fucking fire. The thing is, though, is I like the Frack's blade shape more. So it's tough, man. It's tough. And you can get the titanium one cheap. No, sorry, no. They have the titanium one's expensive. They have the steel frag one that's cheap. Yeah, I'd still probably go Pyite, even though, man, I like the blade shape a lot more on the Frack. Just signed up for Battle Box. The knives seem okay, but there's a good knife subscription service. But is there a good knife subscription service? I think Monthly Knife Club isn't bad. So I used to think that they were bad. So in the beginning, God said there was light. No, in the beginning, I seen these subscription companies popping up, right? My channel was early, but I was watching all these other channels, get them. And I didn't like them. Like, I literally watched people unbox them, and I was like, you're a liar. That's all I could think in my head. You're a damn liar, right? Because they would open things up, and it's like, you get all this for $50, and it's like, yeah, it's not, to me, it's not worth 30. Like, I wouldn't even pay $30 for that shit, because it was like, yeah, the shit did cost that much, but it was shit you wouldn't buy. Shit you wouldn't fucking care about. There'd be like one thing that would be good, and then the rest. So it's like you bought that one thing. That's kind of the way I looked at it. I'm not saying that was always true, but it just seemed like on a balance of probabilities, that's how it was. Well, I wasn't the only person that thought that. So over time, they started getting better and better and better and better and better. And now, like the first couple that I got, if you guys remember when I first showed them, I didn't like them. I didn't think they were that good. I think it was like even like more than that, like a few of them. They oh man, I'm not even gonna go into it, but anyway, so because Going Gear, I did the thing with Going Gear, and their shit was kind of like that. And then I don't know if like they got mad at me or what, but I still, I still work with them and shit, but doesn't matter. The point is though, is that they gotten better. They got better and better. In the last like 3-4 boxes I've gotten from them have all been bangers. And it's like, this is what it's about, right? If you can get a box like this every time, then this is what it's about. Like, this is good, because there's nothing in the box that I won't use, right? And that's how it should be. It shouldn't be where it's like, you're very unlikely to use this stuff, but it's like, okay. And then there's this one cool thing. But Going Gear has a pretty decent box too. The cool thing with Going Gear over Monthly Knife Club is Going Gear, you get other stuff. You don't just get knives. So if you have a premium tier, you're most likely going to get a premium knife and then a budget knife and then some other budget stuff. Or not budget stuff, sorry, some other gear. And then if you're just doing the standard, you're going to get one budget knife and then some gear. When Papa Pita was a lad, they sent me to a ranch at the base of the mountains. Did lots of labor, took care of all types of animals, and that was what they did to rowdy kids in my time. Yeah, I mean, I imagine, because hard work, sets everybody straight, right? The same thing with me, but like, to me, it wasn't like, I guess it was the same thing because, you're already a rowdy kid. So it's just in your nature, right? And like, my dad always knew that was, just going to be the way I was. So, like, bringing me onto a job site, he had to, not only because, like, to make me learn, but to teach me discipline, to teach me hard work, because, as a man, you got to fucking know how to work hard. I think we are lacking that in some way, shape, or form. I think it's man, it's kind of crazy because I think about the things that I did as a kid growing up, and I just don't see people doing that with their kids anymore. I rarely ever drive past a job site and see children, right? I rarely ever drive past a roof and see a kid up there. You know what I mean? So it's just, but to me, like, it was just normal growing up. Intubated is when they have the breathing tube down your throat. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. My dad had that. He also wound up getting a trach. So he had that for so long, and then he wound up getting the trach. And it took him a long time to be able to talk again. It was frustrating, man. They had these pictures, like these things that he could point to tell them what he wanted, but everything he ever wanted was never on that board. So I got really good. At first I was not good, right? And he would get so frustrated. You could see it in his face, like he was ready to hurt people. Like, he would get angry because you can't understand him. Well, I got good at understanding him. So then eventually, he never wanted, when he was like in that position, because he went through that a couple times, he didn't want to be there without me there, because the nurses wouldn't be able to fucking understand him, and he couldn't write. So a lot of times it was like the first time, like, the big thing was he wanted a cigarette. Give me a fucking cigarette. A friend was in the hospital. I went to see him, walked up to the desk, got his room number, rode the elevator up, walked into his room, discovered I was still smoking a joint. Live and learn. Oh, fuck. I seen Flytenium has glass balls for the Manx too. Does that affect the integrity of the lock? So it should be ceramic. The ceramic, so a ceramic ball, even if you take a tiny, like say the ceramic ball's in your pivot. If you took one of those out and say you took some needle nose pliers and you put that ceramic ball in those needle nose pliers and tried to break it, you couldn't do it. You could put it on a thing and smash it with a hammer and it would shatter, but you couldn't do it with pliers. Like, they are incredibly hard. So, and because it's a sphere, it's very, very hard to break. So, using a ceramic ball as the ball, I imagine it's even stronger than the steel one. The steel one would probably bend and mold and morph before the ceramic would shatter. Most likely. I don't know if that's a fact, but I would bet money on it. And if I'd lose, I don't know. My wife heard you talking about the Manx 2 and got me one. Hell yeah. S110V for Christmas. So thanks, Jared. She also ordered me the Yojimbo and M4 and a JG10 for 169. Blade HQ has some crazy sales going on. Hey, Oregon Knife Guy, you could tell your wife that I told you that you got yourself a keeper there. You better not lose that one. Sounds like you got a good one. Better treat her right. Better be treating her damn good. Sounds like she's a queen. What's your favorite leather stroppy stuff? I would like to get one, but I've seen middle ground reviews on most. So budget ones are fine. There's nothing wrong with spending $20 on one. And I know that might even be a budget one to you. $10. It doesn't matter. Like, you can get by with any leather. This is the thing I would say. Depending on the stropping compound you're going to use. If you're going to use the stuff that's like in a crayon, the stuff that you rub on a leather, then get the suede stuff or the furry stuff, or the stuff that's fuzzier, right? If it's a liquid like gunny juice, stroppy stuff, then you want the flesh side or skin side. You want the firmer leather, because otherwise because the furry stuff, it'll just soak in. With the firm side, it'll spread. Now, my favorite is stroppy stuff. That's my favorite leather and my favorite stropping compound. I like getting them both together. The stropping compound and the leather, they fucking work good. You can get them in my HAPSTONE link. Oh shit, I don't even think I put the links in. I'm an idiot. I'm gonna drop them in right now. But no, that's the stroppy stuff is, if you want to save money, you can just go with gunny juice. Gunny juice is just as good as stroppy stuff. The thing I like about stroppy stuff is that it's color coordinated. So you might not care about that. I care about that because I have a lot of stropping compounds. Okay, it's linked down in the description in 2 seconds. I click this, click this. So yeah, it's linked down in the description now. Damn, I gotta turn this thing on too. Shit, I didn't have nothing done. I'm an idiot. So yeah, that's what I would do. If you don't care about the color coordination, get gunny juice. Gunny juice is the best diamond emulsion, and I have them linked down in the description. You can find them in the Neevesknives store. You could also, which is an Amazon link. It should be down there. Good shit though. And then if you do get this stuff, you can get any leather as long as you get the firm side, the side that's skin, that's not as furry. Hey Jared, I've been thinking about grabbing the Neferis, but I was wondering if you know if they'll get any more of that gray one you got. That way I just hold out longer for that one. No, so this is the thing. They only made so many of each one. So the one version sold completely out. So whatever's left out there is left out there. I did notice there's a couple. Oh, wait, no, maybe not. We have some on NEEVEKNIVECO. So if we have the one that you want on NEEVEKNIVECO, buy it there. But otherwise, check out my Blade HQ link, my GP Knives link. But no, the one is completely sold out because it's a limited thing. So they only make like 200 pieces of each version or something like that. Maybe it's more than that. I'm not positive. I'd have to look. Oh, I got it right here, don't I? Yeah. Hold on. Where's the number? Right here. Okay, so there's 155. There's only 155 of each. So I get it while you can. At the NEEVEKNIVECO link. It's a damn good one. This is one that it's tough not to recommend. Like, this is a knife that to me is like one of the hardest knives not to recommend, like with everything. Like when somebody's like, hey, what's the best knife to get right now? This one. What's the knife with the best action? This one. Granted, it's not like fall shut, but somebody did say that if you throw some skiff bearings in there that it gets even smoother. But mine's damn smooth. I haven't thrown the bearings in, but I do have some. Worst hospital experience was 5 stitches to my chin during an ice storm while on microdots by a doctor who reeked of gin. I've been there, but Yeah, man. If stitches is your worst problem, it's not too big of a deal unless if it's at the bottom of your foot. I spent a long I spent a long while in the hospital. Thank God for weed vapes. That's the way I feel now. Back then I didn't vape. And well, I'm not weed, but like for tobacco. I wouldn't give a fuck about going to a hospital now because I'll just vape. I don't give a shit. Like they'll never know. I literally go in the grocery store. I stand in fucking lines and I vape. Nobody really knows, you know. They just, they don't know what I'm doing. So, and if they do, they don't say nothing. I've never been called out. Nothing's ever happened, and I go everywhere and do it everywhere, right in front of people. I don't give a shit. But when if you don't blow nothing out, what are they going to say? Like if you don't bog out, like blow out a big old puff of smoke, what are they going to say? And you don't have to. If you hold it in, they won't even see it because you can hold it in, and then as you're like talking, it barely comes out. You can cloud it if you want to. I'm currently living in a nursing home because I have a tracheostomy from a 8 bypass heart surgery in April. Damn. I was in a coma over a month while on a ventilator. Damn, B-Mac. I'm sorry to hear that, man. I hope you get better, man. I hope you get better. Do what they say in that nursing home, man. I worked in a nursing home. Hopefully you have a good nursing home. Hopefully you're not in a shitty one because I've seen a lot of shitty ones too. The one I worked in, thank God, was a really, really good one. But in the town that I was working in, every other one was horrible. Like, was horrifying. And I knew because I would leave that one and I'd go to the other ones because like my grandma was in one. So I got to see what other ones looked like, and there was nothing like the one I was working in. Like, especially, when you're in like Section 8 places, because it's all low income, so it's all state funded. The one I worked in wasn't like that. I'm sure they had some state funding, but it wasn't like completely state funded. So it was a lot nicer. But if it's a good one, let them take care of you and do what they say so you can get better and get out. Because the one thing I noticed about being, in there is one of the biggest issues was the patients just not listening, not doing, it's not even like doing as you're told. It's doing what's going to take you to doing what is in your best interest to get you out faster, or what's in your best interest for you to heal better. So good luck, man. I pray for you. Damn, B-Mac. I'll let you let him read that. I was moving 10 yards a week at 10. I was mowing. Oh, I was mowing 10 yards. I thought you said moving. I was like, damn. 10 yards. Holy shit. I was moving 10 or mowing 10 yards a week at 10. Yeah. I did landscaping. I started doing landscaping at the age of, I think it was 12. I did it before that, but like full time. I think I started working full time till I was like 15, 16 or something like that. No, yeah, 14, 15, something like that. I did it for like 3 years. Because my cousin still does it. And he had a landscaping business, has a landscaping business, and but we did everything though, like bobcat work, fucking literally everything. His dad was an excavator. So was my dad. So his dad had an excavating business, which is my uncle, and then he had the landscaping side. So one was doing the excavating, he was doing the landscaping. So there's lots of machinery and stuff. Hey, Steve's in the house. Shout out to Steve. Shout out to Super Steel Steve. Definitely go and follow him on Instagram. Awesome content. He teaches you a lot of shit. Today I was watching him talk about ace or asymmetrical or not asymmetrical. I don't know. Where the grind is off from one side to the other on a knife, and he was showing the different bevel sizes and what it's like to use and why, and why you would want that. And yeah, man, he's just a plethora of information, and always fascinating to listen to. Shit hits the fan. What 5 knives are you grabbing as you run out of the house? Probably my new one. See, it depends. Like, because if you have one big knife, right, you don't want to carry 5, right? So this is a good one. The Quachetti's a good one. The Kukri's a good one. The Kukri's a little bit heavy, but I could definitely pull it off. You know what I did? I'll tell you guys in a second. But then the other ones would be pocket knives, pocket knives or small fixed blades, things like that, because you'd want stuff for other things, like the knives you're going to use. Like theoretically, I'd get by with 2. Give me 1 small fixed blade and 1 big fixed blade. I'll be good. And then some sharpening stones. I spent like a bunch of money last night buying machetes. I don't know why. I had this thought in my head, like I should make some machete videos. So my plan is to make like a machete video with like a $5 machete. I think the cheapest one was like $10 or something. So like a $10 machete all the way up to like $100 or like $60, $70. And actually all the way up to $300 if you count this thing, because this thing can probably be in that video. But so we'll see how it goes. I almost bought, I don't even know, did I buy it? No, I think I took it out of the cart. I almost bought this damn oh man, they call it like a Spartan Commando thing. It was $10.95 steel. So I guess that's kind of okay, but it was like a big long handle with this, I think it was like a 17-inch blade. Like it was just ridiculous. Like it was like a battle weapon. I don't know why I even threw it in the cart. I was thinking it'd be kind of cool to put in the video. But I took it out. So all I got was a bunch of machetes and stuff. So it's going to be a fun video. I think I'm going to break it up into shorts too. So like I can talk about each one and make like, say if I bought 5, I don't remember how many I bought. I think I bought 4 or 5. So maybe I bought 3 or 4. I don't know, but I can make that many shorts and also the full length video. How did I get into knives? Oh, I've been into knives since I was a little kid. Me and my dad collected knives when I was a little kid. He would like my dad was into hunting, and he was he was a professional archery shooter, tons of trophies, first place trophies. So he was really into firearms and hunting and knives and things like that. And he even had a few friends that were knife makers. So he would accumulate knives and bring me home knives because he knew I loved them. So, and me and him, that was like something we did together, was collect knives. And so that's how I got into him. When I was 5 years old, he handed me my first pocket knife, and it was so big. It was like a giant buck 110, but it wasn't a buck 110. It was like an XL version. Like it was massive. And he gave it to me and I could barely open it. I don't even think I could close it at first. I wound up learning to push the back lock against the table and then close it, because I'd have to close it like this. It was so big. It was massive. It didn't even fit in my pocket. That was my first pocket knife. He fucking loved it. He loved the look on people's faces when he'd be like, hey, give me your knife. Or when he'd tell me to cut something, and I was 5 years old pulling out this knife out of my back pocket. Dude, what do you think of the Anos across? I don't know what that is. Anos across. I don't know what that is. Explain. I have a 1 micron diamond spray on both of my leather straps. I have 1 micron diamond spray on both of my leather straps. Yeah, 1 micron's fine. I like having a little bit coarser. So for me, my favorite, the most versatile in my opinion is 6 micron. That's the one I would recommend for people for an all-around micron. But if you're mostly dealing with toothy edges, or not even toothy, medium grit, like so even like 1200 grit and below, there's no reason why you need anything under like a 9 micron. 9 micron is a great stropping compound. It's got just enough abrasiveness to where it'll work, but it's not so fine that it's not doing anything. So if you have a super toothy edge, it's not that 1 micron won't work, because it will, but it doesn't work as good. Just like with anything, right? It's like with sharpening, right? A 1,000 grit stone is not going to sharpen your edge as well as a 300 grit. So, but it depends on your edge. Just like if I had a mirror polished edge, I wouldn't put a 9 micron on there. I'd put like a 2 micron or a 1 micron or a quarter micron. So it just depends on what you're doing. But like I said, the 6 micron is close enough to where you could use it for polish or medium grit. That's the beauty of 6 micron. That's why I usually recommend that to people. It's just a good balance. Car can use a strong. Oh, what? What? Thank you. I try. We make. Oh, we're gonna look at that actually. So this is. I did a poll. We'll check it out here in a minute. I did a poll. I want to see the results. We'll check it out here in a second. How's the action on the button lock kite fin? I just bought one yesterday. I haven't tried the button lock one, but I know it's good because they haven't failed one yet. They've been doing really good with every single one of them. I'm still wondering what that guy said. Deadwood has the nefarious and best price 265. So I sit there and promote my fucking knife dealer site, and then Makuso, you tell someone to go somewhere else. What's wrong with you? They would know based on BP and heart rate. Oh, blood pressure and heart rate. Wife ordered the 7 for Christmas. I bought myself a Rex 45 for Christmas. Both are great. Both are very awesome. Yeah, these I'm actually about to sharpen this one up. I stripped the edge off, so I have to. I'm actually carrying the satin one right now. It's like the best fucking knife ever made, man. I can't recommend even this one, man. Look at, I said that the edge was not as, it didn't feel as good as this one. Just the factory edge. But I might have been wrong because I honed it on my Veneve 1200, my Veneve 800, and then the 1200. And damn it, did it tune this thing up like in a great way, man. This thing has a significant amount of bite. It's like that perfect level of bite and fineness, just to where it's like scary sharp. And that's what the factory edge. Factory edge has been tuned up on, honed up on a stone, but still. All right, I see I am way backed up. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to catch up really quick. If you said anything you want me to see, just say it again. Holy shit, I'm backed up. Maurice! What's up, brother? Shout out to Maurice. You will get in more trouble using a knife in a fight than a gun. Well, I don't know. I think it just depends, but I understand the argument. The argument is because usually it's more personal, and but the thing is though, is that if you're that close to somebody, that means you didn't have an opportunity to run. And I don't think under any circumstances you have an obligation to turn your back on a threat. Right. Regardless, like that's the biggest thing. That's why you keep your mouth shut till you get in court, because that's what the lawyer's going to argue, hopefully for you. Because if I turn my back on you and you're a threat, that's a bigger threat to me. Right. So I need to face you now. If we're in a tussle, or if we're, in hand-to-hand combat, basically, and it got to that point, I don't know. It just depends on who started it, all the bullshit, whether or not you try to de-escalate. But I've known people that have had that issue and got out just fine. But they had cameras on their side, where you could see them getting jumped and stuff. So, and if you get jumped and you stab somebody, it's kind of on them, right? But if it's a disagreement, over some fucking candy bar at a gas station, and now you're, throwing blows over some stupid shit, yeah, they'll probably hold it against you pretty good, because you should try to de-escalate. Unless if you're just gonna work with hands, But the problem is a lot of people on the streets, they ain't throwing hands anymore, guys. They're fucking pulling guns. So, it's, which sucks, because you used to be able to just throw some blows over a damn candy bar. Not anymore. Jared, I have a question about getting OTFs in California. Can I own one? I know I can't carry one, but will any knife store ship one? So they won't ship it to you. But what you can do is, and I'm not telling you what to do, but if I was you, I would probably tell one of my friends in another state to, I'd give them the money, have them buy it, and then them ship it to me. You can own it. You can own it. You just can't carry it. Now, if it's under 2-inch the blade, you can actually have one. So like there is legal ones for you, legal autos and shit for California, but I think it's under 2-inch blade. So if it's over 2 inches, you can have it. You just can't carry it. Now, I think there's certain places that you can, like in California. I could be wrong, but I think you can carry a fixed blade as long as people can see it, which is fucking weird. But yeah, they take away like the point of concealment. There's a purpose for it, right? It's like I carry this concealed so that if I did have to use it, God, God forsake if I did, but if I did, the person doesn't know what I have, right? The person's not going to get the drop on me, right? Like if something happens and you have a firearm sitting right there on your waist, my gun's completely pointed at you because I'm taking it, right? But if I don't see it, then I'm less likely to do that, and you're more likely to be able to defend yourself. See what I mean? So like it just defeats the purpose. I'm not sure how they are about firearms, but I'm pretty sure you have to carry a knife exposed as far as a fixed blade. Right. I can carry a K-bar into Walmart, but can't have an OTF, you're saying? Go figure, yeah. Because a lot of guys are pussies. They will shoot you instead of fighting like a man. A man. What is that these days? Exactly. Jim Miller with the 10 bones. Med time for an old fart. Med time or bedtime? A little bit of both. Medication and bedtime. Thank you, Jim. I appreciate you coming in, and thank you for the donation, man. Get some sleep. You got a long day ahead of you tomorrow. A knife is a tool. Such BS knife laws. Exactly. And that's the real shitty part about it, because of the fact that it is a tool, right? Like obviously anything can be used as a weapon. Anything. I can use a pencil as a weapon. That doesn't mean you should ban pencils, right? I can use anything as, and obviously in history. Right. But right, but you're also not allowed to carry a fucking a 6-inch kitchen knife either, though. They can hear you, trust me. She said more knives or more crimes are committed with kitchen knives than anything. But a knife is a tool first and foremost, which to me, what the crazy part is that, years ago, it would have been a ridiculous thing to say you can't carry a knife because you needed it for your survival. What's changed, right? Why? Because you have grocery stores, you have this, you have that. Why does that mean I have to do that, right? That doesn't mean I don't live off the land. That doesn't mean I don't cut my own food up while I'm out. You know what I mean? Like all these little things, like I fucking hate, man. I could go get crazy right now on like government control, man, because I can't stand that shit. I might as well stop now. Funny enough, me and my little bro got into it over a slice of pizza and tried cutting it in half. He didn't like the size I was cutting it. He'd try grabbing the knife and ended up needing stitches. At least he didn't step on it. There would be no civilizations if not for knives. Right. Even with the age of the iPhone and going to Mars, we still can't survive without knives. 100%. We cannot survive without knives. It's the first and last tool we will ever need, because it is, how else are you going to cut your food, cut your fruits? Even like just look at like, just normal like cleaning things up, like outside and things, cutting branches and shit, like we need these types of tools for our survival, just like hammers, right? Jared, what are your thoughts on my top 3 knives of 2023? Knife Lander, Kunwu Padre, Quiet Carry Drift. I like them all. The NAFS Lander, I like it. I don't have no problem with it. It's very basic, very simple. So, Yeah, I personally wouldn't put that into my top, but I like the knife and I like how simple and basic it is. I can understand why you like it. But yeah, as far as the Padre and the Drift, fuck man, that Drift is the Padre too. Both of them are badass. Um, and Quiet Carry, man, Quiet Carry, they're doing such a damn good job. I'd love to find out what OEM they're using or what company they're using in Thailand. Thank you, Todd. I appreciate it, man. We need to send Todd something. Yeah, I can do a backflip on a trampoline. What they ban, I'm still carrying a firearm. Knife law abiding citizens aren't who I'm worried about. There you go. I don't care what they ban. I'm still carrying a firearm. You should. I mean, I'm not going to say that, but yeah, do whatever you got to do. People in New York got more illegal guns than knives. True. Is it illegal to own and carry any type of knife in the state of Utah as long as you are not a restricted person as defined in 76-10-503? Every time I try to go on NAF's website, my firewall blocks it and says it's bad. That's funny. Wonder why. I can do a Spidey flick on a trampoline. All right, scent of the day. Let's do scent of the day really quick. And then we're gonna get to this poll. Scent of the day is, and this is a banger, guys. This is an absolute banger. You know, before I even do it, I'm gonna see if I can link it for you guys because this is one that most of you guys should get because this is like, you know, your girlfriend that wasn't into the one, she'd be into this one for sure. This is one of the best men's fragrances. Trying to find a cheap one. Oh, here we go. Got it. Got it. Come on. All right, so I'm putting it in the top of the description. And the name of this bitch is Mercedes Move. And Mercedes Move is an absolute banger. Look at how much I have left in mine. You already know. Look at that. This is a big bottle. I linked the smaller bottle for you guys. It'd be better if you get the big bottle for 100, but like the small one's like 60, 70 bucks. But this thing it's slightly sweet, super fresh. It smells like the best kind, the best kind of shower gel a man can have. Like the best type of body cleansing, you know, shower gel, shampoo, whatever that you could think of on the market for men. Oh, it's so damn good. It's super fresh, super clean, slightly sweet. Let's pull up the notes, man. This one, like I said, I've had a lot of people, every single person that has gotten it from the community has thanked me. I have yet to have had someone say they didn't like it. Every single person has loved it. Dan, thank you, man. Or Don, sorry, Don. What a dickhead. Don Farmer, thank you for the 10 bones, man. Happy New Year's to you too. Thanksgiving. Happy New Year's to you too, man. I appreciate the donation. That's awesome, man. Let me share this really quick. So here's the note breakdown. You got aromatic. Where'd it go? You got aromatic, marine, salty, fresh, spicy. The floral. Don't think floral like it smells like a girl's flower. It has, you can smell like it's almost like the powderiness a little bit, but in a good way, not in a bad way, in a great way. Mixed with the citrus, warm, spicy, vanilla, fresh, and sweet. Definitely a hint of sweet. Definitely got that fresh vanilla. The marine and saltiness is going to be the majority of the scent. It's just in. It's a winner. Top notes are apple blossom, grapefruit, and cardamom. Middle notes are C notes, salt, geranium. Base notes are tonka bean and balsamic fir, or balsam fir. Like I said, man, I can't recommend this one enough. I linked it at the top of the description. This is one. Oh yeah. Also, this is a beast mode fragrance. This is a fragrance that will last you all night. So if you put it on during the day, at night it'll still be lingering in like pretty well. Just depending on how much you soak, how much you put on. It's not that you don't have to wear it light, because it's such a good fragrance. Like it'll be fine, but people will smell you. You'll get about a 2 to 4 foot projection, because it is definitely one where people can smell it. And the thing though is that it's not one that people dislike, like whatsoever. Like I've never met somebody who dislikes this. It's the thing is this is the thing. Mercedes, right? Mercedes doesn't make fragrances. So don't even think about, like, if you hate Mercedes, who gives a fuck about Mercedes? They paid one of like the best fragrance makers on the planet to make them a fragrance that everybody would love. And I guarantee that's what they said. We want a fragrance that's a blue fragrance, blue meaning fresh shower jelly type of fragrance, that everybody loves, because they don't want to make something that's niche. Right? There's a lot of fragrance makers that make niche fragrances. They're looking for this little market of people that love, like, say, leather, or love spicy, or love tobacco, or whatever, right? But the masses are going to like a fresh blue fragrance. That's the most popular fragrance group. I got a whiff of red tobacco. Took a minute, then I was happy. Probably going to go for it. Yeah, that's the thing. You can't go off that first initial 10 minutes. You got to put it on and then let that dry down, and then it just gets better and better and better the longer you wear it. An hour in, you start, to me personally, for me, an hour in, I started loving it. But the first 5 minutes, I was like, yeah, I can't wear this. But then 10 minutes in there, I was like, it's all right. And then 30 minutes in, I couldn't stop smelling myself. 45 minutes in, I'm like, I kind of like it. An hour in, I'm like, fuck, I got to buy a bottle of this. Please link the big size. Okay, I got you. Yeah, you want to get the big size, dude. You're getting way more for the value. Like that's with any fragrance, it's just, you might as well pick the big one, because it doesn't make. So all right, so I put both the big and the little underneath it. They're saved right now. Yeah, they're and thank you. I appreciate you using my link. You're gonna be happy. I promise you that. Without a shadow of a doubt. This is a fragrance that like of like my top 5, like when people ask, it's going to be one of the 5 to recommend, because there's certain fragrances that you just can't go wrong with. There's fragrances that I love that I know not everybody's going to love, but then there's fragrances that it's just like, it's a given, everybody's going to love it. And the thing is though, is that a lot of those, and I just mean like out of like a lot of great smelling fragrances, they only last a couple hours, and they wind up like not doing that well as far as like lasting throughout the day. But the few that I recommend, that's one thing that I make sure they do, is they last all day. They're really good. And that's important, because the worst thing to do is, spray down and then fucking an hour and a half later, 2 hours later, you got nothing. $1 million idea in gasoline scented cologne. Somebody's already done it. What? Anchorman did it. I know. But yeah, you would be surprised. There are so many weird fragrances. Like there's one, and I actually have a clone of it, by the fireplace. So it literally smells like a burning fireplace. Like as if anybody would want to smell. Oh, it smells like roasting marshmallows in the fireplace. That's what it's supposed to smell like. And it kind of does. It actually does. And it's supposed to be a replica. What? Yeah, that's the way I feel too. But a lot of people like it, man. A lot of girls like it, like especially like for like a cozy night. I'm not a huge fan of it. Like it's okay, but I've never worn it. Like I've sprayed it and smelt it, but it's not something I could wear. Crush, don't hate on fruitcake. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of fruitcake either. My grandma used to make it. Oh, I can't stand it. Needs any updates on the Sweeney? No updates. I think they did the mini version. Did they drop yet? They have the mini version, and then the full version's coming in a couple months. They're gonna have a new batch of it. They just dropped the auto barber, so you could get that. James, will Spyderco 3 ceramic bench stones cut high vanadium steels like S45? So okay, so this is the thing. So with ceramics, right? S45, I wouldn't put into the category. It's right there on the line, right? Like S35 VN, you can still sharpen with natural stones. Like it's not going to hurt it. But you know, personally, I like doing it on diamonds regardless. But I'm saying you don't have to, right? Now, S45, I kind of put in the same camp, you know, but I still would recommend diamonds. But here's the thing: with high wear resistant, high carbide steels, with ceramics specifically, I personally, because they're not cutting steels unless if you're getting like a Shapton or something, but like regular ceramic plates, they're not for sharpening. You're gonna want to sharpen on something else and then move to those as finishing stones. And as long as you're using it as a finishing stone, then it's fine. But you wouldn't want to cut your edge bevel in with it. So you'd want to cut your edge bevel in with a diamond and then maybe move to a medium diamond, and then you can move to a medium ceramic or a fine ceramic if you wanted to. I personally wouldn't move to an ultra fine ceramic or a fine ceramic until I'm over 1200 to 1500 grit. Because it's basically like a 2500 grit. Now, a medium ceramic from Spyderco is probably like 1500 grit still, 1200 grit. So same thing, you know, you don't want to use that until you're over a certain grit. As far as, you know, if you're going to use it for that. But that's the beauty with those, is that you can use them for so many things, right? You can deburr on them, you can micro bevel on them, you can do edge maintenance on them, hone with them, you can do your finishing edge, you can do a polished edge. So many fucking things you could do with them. So they're good to have in the collection no matter what, but I would never tell you to sharpen on them unless if it's like a Shapton glass. Like that's different though, right? I'm specifically talking about a ceramic Spyderco plate. So yeah, with the bench stones, yeah, get a diamond. Banana bread is good. I like banana bread. Banana bread is my shit. I love me some banana bread. You guys got me getting hungry. Hey Jared, have you ever had interests in battle songs, butterfly knives? And if so, will you do reviews in the future? I've had a bunch on the channel. I only own a couple. I think I own like 3 or something. Trying to think. I have a Benchmade Morpho 51. That's probably my best one. I can't remember if I have the Kershaw one or not. I don't think so. Oh wait, I might have given it away actually. I think I gave it away. So but yeah, I like them. I'm just not a big bally dude. Like you're not going to see me carrying one and flipping it around, but I like them. You know, I like them. I love to check them out. I love to test them. You know, I love all knives. There's no knife that I'm really like, I don't like those. So, you know, there's things that I like more than other things, and there's things I'm willing to carry or not. But yeah, I'm always willing to check them out. Fuck yeah. How much do you think is okay to pay for a Spyderco factory second on eBay? $60, $70. So I'll be honest, I actually think a little bit more than that. I bought my factory second for $80, and I could not for the life of me find out what was wrong with it. I literally went through it with a fine-tooth comb. It was rock solid, centered, like literally everything was perfect on it. The heat treatment felt good. I used it until I wound up giving it to to my best friend. And that was a Parah 3 in Maximet. But and my buddies wound up getting some too, same thing. So I mean, I'd personally pay, like, if I thought it was going to be that good, you know, like if the owner or whatever, the seller was saying like this thing's perfect, like it's really good, I would pay more. I'd pay, you know, 80, 90 bucks, probably what they paid. But if you can see the defect, then and it depends on what it is and if it bothers you or not. But I wouldn't go over 80 bucks because that's how much they cost at the thing. Hello, how do you enter? Oh, wait, how do you order a Leverletto? Oh, you're trying to get my Leverletto, ain't you? See, Two Bones Jones sent it to me, so you're screwed. This thing is badass. It is so badass. I don't know. I found him online for like 40 bucks if you want to look for one. Wait, watch this. Come on. You push this button right here and it smacks that guy back. See? Rocker. So it goes like that. And you bring it down and you compress the spring, and this thing smacks. Like it hits hard. It's addicting. Like, I love this thing. Like, I can't, like, I literally find myself sitting here. I have to set it down, like, stop fucking with that thing, you know, because it is that good. The only thing it's missing a clip, but ergonomics are good. I love the Spanish spear point blade, you know, or whatever you want to call it, drop point blade. Nice. It's a full hollow. It's nice and slicey. I would love to see these things remade. Can you imagine? Think about this. Let's really look at this thing. Think about this thing being remade. Let me go this way. Think about this thing being remade in premium materials. A titanium handle, a titanium pin thing right here, titanium, maybe a steel back spring, and then with a solid lockup. Like this one has a little bit of up and down, you know, a little bit of side to side. I could probably tighten that up actually, but my point is that if you had a company that could do it right, this nub would like fit perfectly into that groove to where there's no movement and the spring is nice and strong. The only thing is you have to make sure they could do an auto, you know, with a good spring action, which I don't see why they couldn't. It's hard to beat that Rake D191 with needle bearings. I dug it out recently. It's really so good. Yes, it is. It is really that good. I actually showed this in the beginning of the show. The 801. But yeah, the D191, man, fantastic knife. That's a big knife too. With a hollow warning, right? With a hollow warning. What do you think of micro bevel for burr removal? What do you think? I would never do it. I don't understand why you would. Micro bevel for burr removal. I'm not sure what you're asking. Are you asking how would you burr remove on a micro bevel? Are you asking would I do a micro bevel for a burr removal? So you can raise your angle when you remove a burr. But only if you listen to like the words that I'm about to say, because if you don't, then you should keep it the same exact angle. When you deburr, right? When you deburr, your goal is to remove the burr, right? The burr is already hanging there. It doesn't need anything to really get snagged or to fall off. It just needs you to touch the stone. So as long as you're not putting any pressure, and I mean no pressure, like literally hold it in your fingers, let that tip hit, and now because you're not doing any pressure, you can hold a higher angle because you're not changing the scratch pattern. You're not fucking with the bevel. You're not doing anything but letting that burr snag the stone. So you can literally just like that, kind of like you're strapping, but with no pressure at all. And just do that back and forth, and that will pass that burr over and over and over until it snaps. And then if it's a pesky burr, or if you want to, after doing some reverse passes, you can do a couple forward passes, right? Same thing, but again, no pressure. And then burr will snap right off. Now, if it's being troublesome, you could add a tiny bit of pressure if you need to, but what I would say is move to a strop, see if the strop will tear it off, because there are some steels that, you know, once the burr's fatigued, the burr will snap it off, and then you could draw it through wood if it's really pesky. Is it a good way to remove a burr? I can't seem to remove it any other way. As long as you're not doing any pressure, I would say don't do it with pressure. Do it with no pressure. As long as you're doing that, then yeah, it's a great way, but don't think of it as micro beveling. Just think of it as raising your angle. You're raising your angle in order to ensure that you're snagging the stone. But here's the thing. If I strop, or sorry, if I sharpen at this angle, right? I'm sorry, you guys can't see. If I sharpen and say this angle, right, to deburr, I don't need to lift up that much, like literally like that much. So like it's not like you change that much, because you moving any direction up higher than your angle you sharpen at is going to hit the apex. So don't worry so much about going really high or anything. Just, just focus on snagging that burr on the stone. If you think of it like that, like you have to get it in your brain that you're not trying to do anything other than snag the burr on the stone. Because like this, right? If you have a wire like this, right? And something comes and hits it, right? See, so if it hits it, it's gonna peel it, right? So now it's folded back this way. Now you can come back with the same thing and hit it. So you're just hitting the burr on something to snag it and get it to pop up, or to get it to flip, right? To fatigue it, because you can fatigue the burr and then you can pop the burr. You want to fatigue it and then pop it. You don't want to just strip a burr off. Like, it's not like you want to like just go all out and just try to rip it off. That's not what you want, because that can cause micro damage to your apex, and like micro tear out and shit like that. I've done it a million times, by mistake, because I didn't know better. So I know, now when I'm doing that and when I fuck it up. And like there's been times, like I have one knife even right now, I need to resharpen it. And I did this a long time ago. It's just the edge was so perfect, except for one little piece where I didn't remove the burr all the way, and that burr is still sitting there, because I didn't fatigue it enough and let it snap off itself. So fatigue the burr, let it snap off, and then if it winds up becoming pesky, you can, act accordingly. Still learning sharpening techniques. Good. You always will. I think we always continue to learn, even myself included, and if I ever get to a point to where I say that I can't learn anymore, then I'm a damn fool. I no strop, but no pressure, 1000 grit ceramic rod. Yeah, ceramics are great for removing burrs. I love removing a burr on a ceramic. I think that's one of the best ways to do it. I think the absolute best way is on an 800/1200 Veneve. I think that's the best thing to remove a burr with. For some reason, it just gives me the cleanest burr removals. But ceramic is damn near as good. Yes, same angle when stropping. Oh, you want to really, because the point of the strop is a little bit different. Yes, you're trying to clean up that apex a little bit, but if you go at a higher angle, the abrasive on the strop is going to roll your apex. So that's why you want to make sure it's at the same angle. So when you strop, it has to be at the same angle, as close as you could get it. If you're unsure, go lower than higher, because you won't do any damage to your apex going lower. And just be gentle, don't apply a lot of pressure, really feel it. Keep your eye on it, watch it. That's the thing, is the more you pay attention to it and really, really focus on the edge bevel, with your eyes, the more you really focus on it, you will get to a point to where you can strop any angle, efficiently and effectively, because you can see it and you'll know I have the angle. But it just takes time of you doing it over and over, because the first 100 times, 1,000 times you do it, you're unsure. You're like, is this right? Right? You're like, it looks right. Is it right? Right? Well, eventually you're like, yes, it's right. That lightweight Manx from X45 surprised me. I thought I wouldn't like the handle. Did use the link. That's what I'm talking about. Hell yeah. I appreciate you using the link. I thought the same thing too, to be honest, man. I literally thought I'd just despise this handle. Yes, I'm gonna get original goat scales on one of mine, but I'm definitely keeping one with the FRN. I don't know what it is about the FRN. I don't even like fucking FRN. I hate FRN, but this FRN is this is a different animal. It really is. It feels so rigid yet lightweight, and I love that. I love that it's just like it's so light, but it feels like a vault. I love it. What's that lock? All right, let's get to story time. We do have a quick story for today. I'm not very good. I'm not a very good manual sharpener, but I get good results with a fixed angle sharpening system. Nothing's wrong with that. Yeah. I would recommend trying, to do little things on fixed angle, because I think if you soak in enough information, I think anybody can do freehand knife sharpening. I would say practice on like a chef knife or something, right? Something, that'll be easy for you to fix on your fixed angle system if you do anything wrong, right? But the point of it is that it has thinner geometry, so it'll go faster. So you'll see the results faster. So you can see a mistake faster, and you can see what's working faster. And my point is that you can also, you can get a nice grip on it, so you can have a secure grip. And I think it'd be easier for you to hold an angle. And if you just watch some of my videos, like on especially my most recent videos talking about sharpening chef knives, listen to the words I say, and if you do that, you'll be able to sharpen up really well. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with the fixed angle system. The Knight's Edge with the 2 bones. I've got a 15V Shaman. Is Rex 45 better? Happy 2024. Technically, I think 15V would be better, but I have both. I've never like compared them, so I'm not sure, but I think on paper, 15V would be superior. I believe. I'm not 100% though, but I'm pretty sure. Both of them are animals, so that's the thing. I don't think you can go wrong with either one. I think both of them are just absolute animals. Jared got a mention on the Zach in the Wild channel today. I did? I got mentioned? Or some other Jared? Shout out to Zach in the Wild. Definitely go and subscribe to his channel. Awesome guy. I had him on a live. I'd love to have him on again. What was said, Palmer? I need and will get couples of stones, because if there's an EMP, I can't use my belt grinder. That exactly. Hey, good thinking. Good thinking, right? If the power grid goes out, you're gonna wish you had a stone, right? I did my first mirror polished edge today. I'm liking it. Hell yeah. As long as you're doing it on the right steel and at the right geometry, polished edge will come out good. But 90% of polished edges don't come out good. As far as what works well for work, right? As far as like what's going to be the best edge for use, right? 90% of the time, it's not going to be a polished edge, but a lot of the times it's because it's done on a steel that just doesn't do well with the polished edge at a high angle, right? If you drop the angle down, do it at a lower angle on a steel that does accept the polished edge well, in which is usually higher HRC steels. That's usually from my experience, like even steels that take a good polished edge. But if the heat treatment's not on point, it doesn't take it. It really doesn't. Like people always asking about 20 CV and M390. You could flip a coin, because it just depends on how it's heat treated. If it's heat treated, like I'd say below 60, it's not going to do well with a polished edge. It's going to get slick as shit. Now, if it's above 61, if it's like 61.5, something like that, that's when it fucking does really well. And just with that little bit. So, and there's a lot of steel, all steels, I would say, are like that. All steels, even MagnaCut. When I tested MagnaCut for the first time, I got because at the time people weren't sure about the HRC, so there were guys running it at like 58, and I got some of it in, and I didn't like it. All right, but then I got Spyderco's and I think they were doing it at 63 at the time, but I think it was 62 to 63 at that time, and it did super good. Like, I couldn't believe how good it did, and that's when I realized, like, oh wow, this steel is something special. But a lot of it was just the heat treatment difference, you know, the HRC, the hardness. So when it's harder, it allows you to get, you know, better results with the polished edge. But most production companies, you know, that's going to be a flip of a fucking coin. It depends on the company you're going to get it from. So, you know, on a balance of probabilities, you know, if you're dealing with certain steels, you're not going to get them the way you'd like. So it'd probably be better to just put a medium grit edge on it, you know, just to be safe. Zach in the Wild has been killing it right out of the gate. But Jay is number one for the knives lovers because he loves them in the community. Thank you, dog one. Yeah, Zach is kicking ass, man. He really is, and I applaud him, man. I every time I see his channel blowing up, man, he's doing numbers. I love it. He's been in this game a long time, so he knows what he's doing. That's the thing. Like, when I first joined the community, like, he was already like a shining star in the community, right? And that was before I even joined. So yeah, man, he's a veteran and knows what he's doing, and God bless him, man. He's a great guy, you know, just an awesome dude all the way around, a genuine dude. So, and I like that. I like a genuine guy, man. Like, just a guy's guy, just a genuine dude. You know, you feel like what's coming out of his mouth isn't a bunch of bullshit. Recommend your sharpening, said Neeves. So absolutely the right chair. Oh man, hell yeah. That's awesome, man. Hell yeah. What a great dude. Yeah, you're thinking 300, 800, 2000 grit. I would say do 3, 6, and 12. That's what I would do, because you could do 3, 8. I wouldn't go 8 to 2000, but 3, 6, and 12. Hear me out. The reason why I'm saying that is because most edges for most steels, for most heat treatments, 600 grit is like the best. You could say 800 too, between 6 and 800 grit, but keeping them closer together like that gives you a lot more versatility. Like, when you have these big jumps, you know, that's when your final stones won't work as well, you know. So unless if you spend a lot of time on the second stone. So 3, 6, and 12 is a nice tight group that works really well, and you'd be surprised how fine your 1200 grit will be if you do the job with the 600. You can strop. You could take with the right, like, if you have 3 or 4 strops, you could damn near strop a mirror polish from 1200 grit if it's done well. All right. Would you recommend them over a leather strap? What are you guys talking about? He was at Blade HQ, yes, with Ben for ages. He knows how to make a video do well. And Jamie, yeah, that's another thing, Palmer, is, yeah, he has Jamie. That's actually, that's his thing, is that he has Jamie. He has an editor. He has somebody who understands editing on a professional level, and also understands the algorithm and everything. It's just a perfect team. Like, I would love to have that one of these days. If I would love to fucking have an editor. If I could have an editor, oh my God, I would free up so much time. Like, I would be able to make even better videos because I could put more into the videos. But it's difficult when you're not only the editor, but you're also a learning editor. All right. Let's do story time really quick, and then we'll shoot the shit for a couple minutes. So this is just a dropping shit. Damn it. Dropped 3 knives. This is just a short story, and it's nothing too crazy. It's just about a time when I'm gonna leave it to you guys' imagination of why I was doing this. But I was and I'll tell you guys how. You know, I'm not telling you guys how to break the law. This is old stuff. They don't do this no more, so it doesn't work anymore. But I used to pin my meters on my house. So, and I would do that because I had to use power for something, and a lot of it, and that much power would make your fucking electric bill go through the roof. So in order to prevent that, I would, well, first of all, you have to know the days when your meter reader is going to come out. And it says on your bill, right? It says, like, and mine was like around the 22nd or something like that. They would come around. Hey, Jake, thank you for the 2 bones. Got a new American Blade Works in Magna Cut 800 grit at 16 degrees. Okay for it. He does a good job with that Magna Cut. You can go up all the way to 5,000 grit if you want to. If you're doing it 16 degrees per side, you can go whatever grit you want. I would say yeah, 16 degrees is great. It's a thin edge, so I don't know what yours is because those are hand ground, so yours might be thicker than mine. I don't know. Mine's pretty thin, so I would go more 17 for mine. But I might go 16 with yours. I don't know. So yeah, I would say that's most likely good. And yeah, you can go all the way up to like 5K grit, and anywhere from 600 to 5K. That's where Magna Cut's good, as long as it's heat treated well, which he does it at, I think, 63, 64, 64, 65. So anyways, so I needed my electric bill not to look like I was doing something I was doing. So I was pinning it. So basically what it is you find out when your meter reader's coming, and you find that out, and you keep it low around that month. Like, you try to keep all your bills low, you try to keep everything low. And then so now you're trying to make it seem like because you don't want any like crazy spikes. Like, it's okay to have spikes, but you don't want something crazy, right? So what you do is the old meters, right? The new meters you can still do it too, but the old ones, they had the glass circle things, around the thing. You could see the little fucking gears, or the little fucking, like, it looked like little gauges. There's a wheel that spins in there, right? So what you do is, I was in construction my whole life, so I had done this already many times. Like, my dad would send me over to family members' house. Hey, I need you to go turn their power back on. They got their power shut off for not paying their bill or whatever. Or he'd tell me, like, hey man, I need you to go pin their fucking meter for whatever, saving some money this month. So I would do this. I had already done it a bunch of times. So you pull off the meter, and it has a glass box or plastic, one of the two, and you drill a little tiny hole, just a little tiny hole that you won't be able to even see on the bottom of it. And you want to put that near because there's a hole in the meter. So as the meter comes around, there's a little hole in it. And what you want to do is you take a little wire, and you go up from the bottom, and you wait for that hole to come around, and you push the thing through the hole, and it stops the meter. Now, that doesn't stop the power. It stops it from reading the power. So what it would do is say if, like, out of 30 days, right, I would know he'd come on the 22nd. I would pin it from like 3 days after he came until a week before he would come, or something like that. And then I would have to run the power the way I was running it, because I couldn't not. So I would be guaranteed that much power would wind up making as much money as it normally was, right? Even if it was within only a few days, because that's how much power is being generated. So it wound up going good. I never got caught for that. I did, however, what happened was over time, the fucking thing starts wearing out, because you're constantly, because I was also doing other things, like, sometimes I'd flip it and shit like that. You used to be able to flip them and make it go backwards. Not anymore. Like, and even at that time you couldn't anymore. For most meters, they prevented that, because people figured that out. Anyway, so mine was old, so it started going to shit. And one day the meter reader guy came and seen that it was kind of fucked up, and he's like, he called them in to replace it, right? So when I went out there to pin it, it was a brand new, everything was brand new. I'm like, fuck. So, but I noticed it still had, oh, no. Sorry, it didn't have the thing anymore. So I'm like, how am I going to stop this? So what I did was, you can get these, what the fuck was I doing? Oh, when you flipped it. So what you do is you flip the meter, and when you flip it and plug it back in, it would run the power, but it wouldn't run the thing. Like, it wouldn't, like, show any power was going through it, which I don't know why, but it didn't. So I would have to go out there and flip the meter for, a couple weeks out of the month. But yeah, I eventually was using a bunch of power, and one of my electric lines underneath the ground coming from, the power source wound up like shorted out or something, and it almost caused a fire, like wound up losing, like I wound up having to spend a lot of fucking money, but they wound up luckily I knew somebody who worked for the power company, so they told me, like, and I had like things going on that I couldn't risk, so they told me it'd be like a week before they can get out there. By that time, I'm fucked. I need them out here now. So I called somebody that I know really well, that would do anything for me, and they put out the dispatch to get some people there, and they showed up and gave me a brand new, like, it was like an electric box to run, like you could run a lot of power through it, so it's kind of like a big generator kind of in a way. Well, 3 days in, that fucker starts like almost lights on fire. It's literally smoking. Luckily, I caught it. My dad was pissed that I caught it, because to him, he was hoping that it would just burn down. But I'm looking at it like I can't have that happen because of what I'm doing, and he knew that too. But to him, he was like it would have been only because it was two different houses on one property. So he's like, they would have never went in the other house. They would only went in the big house. That's the one that would have burned. So yeah, well, what if it caught the garage and then moved over to the other house? But anyways, I wound up saving it, and they brought me out another one, and that one wound up being fine. But it was absolutely crazy. So you're the reason for smart meters? Not just me. Not just me. Plenty of people. Not just this one guy. When I was doing it, man, I was taught by a lot of motherfuckers that knew how to do it too. So it was a pass me down type of information, something you pass down to your children. No, I was I told you guys this story before, when I was doing that for well, I wasn't doing the meter or anything, but what I was doing was what the hell was I doing? How was I doing? I was doing it with the gas. I think I just was turning it back on. So they were shutting off my gas for, not paying or something like that. And I would just go out there and turn it back on, because like I said, my family was excavators and all that shit. So like I had the key and stuff. So I had connections to get the key. So we just turn it back on, and they would come out like a couple months later and be like, what the fuck? And they turn it back off, and then they throw a lock on there, right? Cut the fucking lock off, turn it back on. And they would get so mad. So first it starts like with a padlock, then they wind up getting this bigger lock that's harder to get off. But I can still get it off. Then I threw a rock down there, and that stopped them from being able to shut it off. And they had to, I don't know how they dug it out or how they got the rock out, but the sheriff came to my fucking door so angry. Like he was like he didn't even want to hear it. Like he didn't want to hear an excuse. He didn't want to hear a lie. He didn't want to hear the truth. He didn't want nothing. He's like, I'm just telling you. He's like, when I went to talk, he's like, he's like, don't even say nothing. He's like, I already know you don't know nothing, but listen, if you fucking do this shit again, he's like, I will be all over your ass. He's like, this is your one chance. He's like, consider it a warning. And it's like, all right. And I knew better to fuck with him, so I didn't. I knew, not to turn that fuel back on, not the gas back on. But I had already done it so much, it was like I was pushing the line. There's a limit to which it's like, all right, I'll stop. I had a jumper for water meters so I could test new plumbing installations. Worked great. Yep, back in the day, we had the best hustles and even ran power cords out in hallway plug at apartments to get power bills lower. Yeah, I remember all kinds of little tricks. My dad did that my whole life, shit like that. Like I watched my dad, I couldn't tell you how many times. Like there was times like the power would be off, like I just watched the power go off. Like, Dad, the power's off. And he'd fucking jump up with some fucking bolt cutters, run downstairs. Within 3 minutes, the power's back on. And that's just the way he was. And he did that my whole life with shit. So, like, to me, it was just like something that was kind of normalized. And back then it kind of was, because like even the cops, like if they showed up, he'd tell them to go fuck themselves. Like he would literally tell them that. Like I watched him tell so many fucking people like to fuck off. Like he didn't give a shit. Like, and there was nothing they could do. Like they weren't gonna fight him, and they weren't gonna, there was nothing they could really do about it. So they would just get angry and get upset and then try to call the police, and he'd tell them to go fuck themselves too. And now though I know a lot of things are different, but back then, it was different, man. And I'm not saying, well, it was definitely a lot better, but I know some people would argue, well, that's why people now, would just call the police and this and that and press charges or yada yada. Yeah, but I don't know. I liked it better the old way. I cut lock-in power room and replaced in my meter. They were pissed, but couldn't prove I paddled the lock door to get it into it. Yeah. That's the thing, is they can't ever prove it. Unless they see you do it or whatever. Like if it's your own meter and you're the only one living there, like, yeah, obviously they know it's you, but it's not like some crazy person just ran in and did it. And people say that, people do that. Like, I don't know what happened. That's what I did. I don't know what happened. Some crazy guy must have came and flipped my meter. So they can't really prove it. But like a lot of people, what they do, like this one guy I knew, he got caught straight up. Not caught doing it, but he got caught to where they came to his house and said, listen, we found a pin in your meter, right? We know what the fuck you're doing. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, I had this girl living here and she was paying the electric bill. And like, what's her name? He's like, I don't know. It's just some whore I met. So it worked out for him. I hung on to that story in the back of my head thinking, like, I wonder if I might have to use this one. Because what could they do? They couldn't argue with him that he didn't have a roommate for a few weeks, for a couple months paying the electric bill. Before I watched my dad die, you would be amazed what duct tape and $50 did for beater cars. Yeah. And then resell for 200 to 300 a year or two later. He was a badass, miss him, and that was the worst day of my life. Yeah, dude, my dad was the same way, man. I watched my dad fix and rig things my entire life. He knew how to fix things right, and he knew how to rig things, and he also knew how to get you by. So I watched him do everything under the sun, and we did a lot of construction in not so privileged areas. So it made it to where that was very often, and a lot of it, you have a lot of poor people, a lot of people doing whatever to get by. And, and my dad was, my dad was like a helper of the community in a way, like he took care of everybody. Like my dad was a type that if you called him, he was showing up, and that's where I got that from my dad, because my dad had so many people's backs, but he also had so many people have his back. So it made it to where one call does it all. He can make a phone call and have just about anything done or put in a place or put in an order. And that's why with me, he sent me to do that stuff, because what the fuck? Something's going on, guys. But am I glitching or something? Anyway, but that's what happened to me when I was growing up was, eventually it became my turn. So he had to start teaching me these things, and then he would get calls, and, there was things I had to go take care of for him, because it was either him going to do it or me. And eventually, he got paralyzed. So it was on me to do it. And even before he got paralyzed, right before he got paralyzed, I just started, actually I was probably a couple years in to doing stuff, but it was kind of like a warm up, to, you guys know what I mean. I don't think I need to go into details. Being poor made for proactive utility manipulation. Yes. Back when I was a kid. Yes. Being poor, man, it's one of the biggest motivators. And also it makes you so, capable. Like it really does. You can like you figure things out. You figure out how to make things work. Like I could tell you some stories of when I had no power, no nothing. It freezing my ass off, coming up with ways to stay warm, coming up with ways to have water, coming up with ways to have power, coming up with ways to use flashlights to make it, you know, an actually lit up room. Um just to survive. Like you come up with, you know, ways to do things. And yeah, it's tough. But when you look back at it, you're like, man, I was so it's almost like prison, right? The guys in prison, the shit they come up with is you're like, because the information gets passed down, right? Because there's somebody who understands you, who goes to prison, teaches everybody else, and everybody else learns, right? But people, even people that are not taught, right, they wind up going and they have so much time on their hands and they have so many problems they need solutions to, that they figure it out and they wind up, you know, becoming master chefs and all kinds of shit with little to nothing. Of course, some of the greatest memories. Yeah, absolutely. Some of the worst too. You know, it's definitely got its good with its bad for damn sure. Hell, we used to go jack toys from the back room at Goodwill and closing until I was like 11 years old. Yeah, we used to go there because we had, you know, in poor areas, you have a lot of those. You have a lot of Goodwills or thrift stores, right? There's always those around. And there was always like 2, 3 of them in my area. So, you know, it was just a normal thing going there. I even did community service at one, but that wasn't in the area I grew up in. That was in a different place that I got in trouble. Um, yeah. And then I wound up I did not do it, but I almost fucking did a B&E on it. I was so young. I'm so glad I didn't, but I had it all planned out. Like I was going to come down through the ceiling and all this shit. But I was so young. I'm so glad I didn't wind up doing it or attempting to do it. And you know, like how much fucking money could there have been? Not that much. I knew where the safe was and shit. That was kind of my plan, my masterful plan. But I didn't wind up doing it. And good thing too, because those old ladies didn't deserve that. Is the best way to sharpen serrations a very thin ceramic rod? No. Or is there a better way? I got a Leatherman that has a fully serrated blade and I want to keep it sharp. So one thing, you want to sharpen the opposites. So there's a few different ways. So one, you can use a ceramic to hone it or to tune it, but you want to use a file or the diamond rod. Diamond rod is probably the best, but you can also use a file. Like the same thing you would do chainsaws with, the same type of concept. But you could also, and the best way is a Dremel though, because a Dremel will go the fastest. If you can do the Dremel with the little diamond wheel, that's the best. But you want to sharpen the opposite side. So say if the serrations are on this side, you want to sharpen this side, and you want to just put it nice and flat on a stone and remove material, and that's how you keep it maintained. When you have to resharpen your serrations, it's because your serrations are damn near gone. So you want to, it's hard to explain without showing you because I don't have the serrations right here. Actually, I might. Oh, I got a partial. So like with these, right? If you look at the back of my bevel right here, you just see how there's no coating right there. So that was because I put that on a stone and I sharpened it. Now, what that would do is make these little points come back to true. But then eventually you're going to have to remake these with a Dremel, diamond file, or some sort of file. I only have a serrated blade. What's a questionable idea, in my opinion? Should be a straight edge. Yeah, you know, some people love serrations. I like serrations, but if I'm gonna have them, I want them full serrated. I don't really like partial. I know a lot of people do. Some people don't. It's just preference. I do know that a lot of people say, like, man, if you're in the outdoors, partial serrations work really well, and I could probably agree with that. But for my day to day, I definitely don't want serrations. If I'm gonna have a serrated blade, I want it to be fully serrated, not partially. Ash. What? Huh. But yeah, that's the problem with serrations, is that they're a son of a bitch to sharpen if you don't know what you're doing. And the thing is that unless if you've practiced on a bunch of, I'm gonna say, crappier knives to learn, you're gonna wind up fucking up, because you're learning, right? You're learning, so you're probably gonna wind up messing up a good knife if you practice on a good knife. So you want to practice on some cheap stuff, even if you have to order a $3 knife off of Amazon. Do that's serrated, and work on that and see, just basically the feeling of it. Feel it out. I don't miss being poor, but miss all the fun I had, though. We were always doing shit and had a blast, even though we didn't have shit to our name. Yeah, it's anytime I think you look back, it goes that way, where like you might have been in a really shitty situation, but you look back and you're like, those were some good memories. But there's still pain there, right? Like I can think of so many things where I went through so much pain and anguish and bullshit, but that's what makes you tough, right? Doesn't mean you want to relive it, because you already have. But that's also what teaches you not to go back. That's what teaches you, how to stay out of that. And to me, man, fucking being poor and like sleeping in horrible places, in horrible conditions, it gives me fucking nightmares to not go back there. Like literally, I'm not joking at all. Like it keeps me so proactive to fucking be. I dread it. Like literally 1,000 times a day. I think about going broke. I think about going broke, losing everything, and like going back to square one. Yes, I could do it if I had to, and I would if I had to, and I'd build things back up, because that's just the way I am. But I think it's even better to be proactive about not going back, right? As much as you can, right? Obviously, shit happens to people. There's nothing you can do about that. But if you can, right, you might as well not put yourself there on purpose. So I just, man, I get a constant reminder. Like I'll literally have thoughts throughout the day. Like sometimes a smell will hit me and it'll bring me back to a time, where I was fucking thirsty, or where I was freezing cold, or where I didn't have any power or no hot water, or where I had to tread through fucking a blizzard of snow just to go and get to water, like all kinds of crazy shit. And it makes you start thinking of like how easy it is to lose everything, how easy it is to go back, and that thought keeps the nightmares alive. And I think that's a blessing. I think it's a blessing to have those nightmares, in the back of your head, because that's what's going to keep you working hard. Anytime I ever fucking sleep in, or I'm not on my shit, I fucking start thinking of that shit, and you'll watch me quickly get my shit back together, because I ain't fucking going back. Yeah, I built my first bike. It's funny you said that. Greg says we built bikes in the woods and taped paper towels to our hands and boxed in our backyards. I lived in my car for a year with the wife and a pug and running from warrants. It sucked. I didn't do the car thing, but I did do it for a few weeks one time. And it was definitely a few weeks with, this is the crazy part, with another person and two dogs. So luckily it was a van, but two dogs and two people, and we roughed it, but it was actually kind of cool, like you said, hindsight, the memories. Don't get me wrong, it was shitty as fuck. It was so bad, it was horrible. But the thought and like the way you can survive and how you make shit happen and how you improvise all these little things and you make it work. It's amazing. But when I was a kid, I got a bike finally, right? When I was a little kid, I had a bike, but then I didn't have a bike for a long time after that. I grew out of that bike, and then I didn't have one again. So I wanted a bike really bad. Everybody else had bikes, I didn't. And I finally got a bike. Finally got a bike. My sister got a bike. I got a bike, and then I had it for like 4 days. Fucking somebody, stole it. Even though it was locked, it was in the back, fenced in yard and shit, but doesn't matter. they see you riding it, and they plan on coming and getting it later. So I know now because I'm, you know, I know. But anyway, so they came and got it, and so now I don't have a bike again. So I said, fuck this shit. Oh no, I think I wanted getting another one. It got stolen again. So I was like, fuck doing this shit. I'm going to steal a bike. That's what I said. So what I did was I literally walked up and down. Me and a buddy walked up and down all the alleys, because here's the thing. Those bikes the people would a lot of times would scrap them. There'd be so many different reasons. They'd sell them. They would do so much. So like in the alleys, there'd be bike parts everywhere, like literally bike parts everywhere. So we wound up walking up and down the alley, and we accumulated enough parts to fucking build a bike. No brakes, but we built a bike. My dad brought me the sand, the spray paint, so we could spray paint it, you know, and you know, make sure, you know, because it's technically not stolen, right? But you know, I don't know where the parts came from, so maybe it is. But my dad, you know, he was just trying to help because he's seen us improvising and coming up with, you know, ways to do this shit. So he, you know, he liked that. So any way he could help, he would. And he, like I say, he brought me the spray paint, you know, spray painted it, and me and my buddy shared it. You know, we ride handlebars and stuff. But I actually because my sister's bike got stolen too. And I remember I went and got into a fight with some dudes because they stole my sister's bike. I thought they stole my sister's bike. Now that I think about it, it might not have been the same bike. But I was a kid and I thought I had to defend my sister, and I seen this this older kid riding around on a bike that was a boy on a girl's bike, and it was similar enough to where I seen a boy on a girl's bike and said that's it. And yeah, I was probably in the wrong. It was probably his sister's bike. I don't know, but I wound up going after him. We got into this fight, and I was definitely in the wrong, probably. But yeah, crazy shit. All right, guys, let's get out of here. I know we all got places to be, like bed. I got to run to the gas station, and I still got to go to bed. And then tomorrow I do have a really cool video going up. I'm going to get up first thing in the morning and finish it. I still got to edit it or finish editing it. So, but it's a good one. It's a banger. So hopefully you guys see that tomorrow. I'll probably post it a little bit early since it is the day that it is. It's probably not a good idea for me to post it later. Hopefully it does well on the holiday. I wonder if I should just wait to post it until after. I don't know. Anyways, work hard, stay tough. Until next time, peace. And thank you guys for all the donations tonight. Thank you guys for all the support. Thank you guys for joining and becoming members. Happy New Year's to everybody. And shout out to all the members. I do appreciate you guys. I love you guys. And yeah, like I said, we're going to get back on track with the members' lives here right after the New Year's. And you guys are awesome, man. Peace.